Time to let the beat drop, baby, I'ma let you know. Ain't always gotta be fast, maybe we can take it slow. Don't always gotta rush, gotta build that trust. With two birds just singing that song, singing that la-di-di-do-di-da. Melodies go back and forth, you sitting on that G-string. Maybe I just struck a chord, the music. If you wanna run away with me, I know a galaxy and I can take you for a ride. I had a premonition that we fell into a rhythm where the music don't stop for life. Glitter in the skies, glitter in my eyes, shining just the way you like. If you're feeling like you need a little bit of company, you met me at the perfect time.
So I didn't know there was going to be another pot inside when I started repotting. I realized that the original nursery pot was not coming off. I thought it was just super root bound, so I had to cut off the nursery pot from the outside of it. But pretty quickly I realized that this was going to be a little bit more complicated than a normal repot. I couldn't tell how much of the original roots were inside that pot. From what I could tell, it seemed like a fair amount of them were in there, but it was really hard to tell how wrapped up the roots were. So I started cutting out the pot bit by bit, untangling what I could, but then I realized pretty quickly that the plant itself had started punching its roots through the sides of the pot and out any of the holes in the bottom of the pot. So I had to really untangle it all the way around so that way I could pull the pot out after removing as much as I could of anything that was attached to the plant itself. I was able to get it out and the plant seems happy now.
Hold me close and hold me fast. This magic spell you cast. This is La Vie en Roses. When you kiss me, heaven sighs, and though I close my eyes, I see La Vie en Roses. When you press me to your heart.
So I want to show you this really cool project that me and my friends are working on, a living tree dome. These are cuttings from purple willows and white willows. We placed them in a nearby bog for about 2 to 3 weeks until roots started to show. After they were rooted, we buried them about 1 foot deep and screwed them together. As they grow, we're going to weave them together to create a tree dome. Like and follow for more updates.
This is how to pin vining plants to make them grow thicker. Start by planting the rooted cuttings as you normally would. Then start wrapping the vines around the surface of the soil. Then pin the vines to the soil using bobby pins or anything similar to them. Take your time and make sure to get all the vines secured down and firmly in place. I like to cover the vines with a little bit of potting mix just to speed up the process of new root and vine growth. Make sure to keep the soil moist for a few weeks, and here at the end is a plant that I started from just a few cuttings, and I use this method. It's gotten pretty bushy.
So I went to the thrift store today and found this adorable propagation vase. So what I'm going to do first is fill it up with a little bit of water. And I wanted to propagate some leaves from Phoebe, my pothos plant. So I'm cutting 2 off just below the node and then just kind of sticking the bottom end of the leaf into the water. And oh my goodness, I think it turned out adorable.
I've been seeing blooming tables all over social media and I really want one, but they're quite expensive, so I'm gonna DIY one. I found this table on the side of the road for free, and then I went to Home Depot and found this kind of like mesh metal material. I'm using this because it's sturdy enough to hold up the plants, but it's also really moldable and it allows for drainage. I just cut out the shape I needed, placed it on the bottom, and attached it with screws. I love the terracotta color of the table, but I decided to do the details in this lighter color to brighten it up a little bit. And then we went shopping for material to prop up the glass and for all of the plants. We went to the plant market and I went a little crazy with succulents. I put some gravel at the bottom to prevent soil from falling through and also to allow for drainage, and then I kind of styled all the plants. These legs that we got to prop up the glass were just a little bit too tall, so we cut them down and they were super easy to screw in. And the last step was adding some little creatures in with the succulents and then the table was completely finished. I seriously love how it turned out, and if you do too, follow along for more DIYs.
Y'all know what it is. Plant repotting for beginners. My anthurium was root bound in her pot, and it was time to get her up out of there. Got a pot 2 inches bigger than our old pot so that her little roots could keep flourishing, unlike y'all edges. Also made sure that the pot had a hole at the bottom so that the plant won't experience root rot. Got her some premium organic soil that drains well and added half to the pot at first. Had to move the soil around to make some room to let La Mama through. Then added some extra soil, leaving about an inch gap at the top for watering. Had to make sure to pat her in there tight like we pat our weed, ladies. Pat, pat, pat that soil, ladies. Added some pebbles to the tray because my tropical girl loves her humidity. Added some tap water that's been sitting for days to not cause shock to her roots from watering straight out the faucet. Made sure I water her until the water started dripping out the bottom hole and stopped. Made sure to spray her with some pesticide consisting of 1 part neem oil, water, and mild dish soap to keep them bugs away. And boom, my girl is too blessed to be stressed and ready to be springtime fine honey. Follow for more plant tips.
Things I wish I knew when I first got into houseplants. Misting doesn't really do anything, it's fun though. Most plants can handle and will appreciate small periods of direct light. Don't water on a strict schedule. Pay attention to signs from your plant. You don't need high humidity to grow plants well. My average humidity is around 50.